If you're a Cleveland Browns fan looking for a break from the emotional roller coaster that is the price we pay from loving then hating our Browns, then a big welcome to Cleveland Browns Anonymous, a group therapy podcast to help you survive the season. So let's start our meeting. Hi, everybody. Midweek, getting ready for the Atlanta Falcons. Time for another meeting of the Cleveland Browns Anonymous group. With me once again, Brook Reilly. Brook, how you doing on this rainy, cold day?
Good. I think summer's over.
Yep. Just turned the heat on in the office. Well, couple thoughts leading up to Sunday. Had a chance to watch NFL Red Zone on Sunday, watch a lot of different teams playing, and of course watched the New York Giants-Cowboys game and that awful Denver 49ers game. And then, of course, the coup de grace was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast, which, by the way, I highly recommend. He's got a real good podcast, but he and Cousin Sal are on there. And, I mean, they're just trashing the Browns. I mean, really. Last year, the Browns were one of the top five. This year, basically the same team without Baker Mayfield and with a definite upgrade in Jacoby Brisset, and now they suck. So go figure. But I'm watching all the games. I'm listening to Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? The Browns have a pretty good team after watching some of the direct over the weekend. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I try to avoid them, which is hard because I think the two of them together are, I think they're some of the best podcast content out there. But it's just kind of hard to just hear them always trash the Browns. I don't understand. I would say that Jacoby Brisset, after 3 games, is a major upgrade at quarterback than Baker. So I don't see how they think we're a worse team than we were last year.
Yeah, I think look at all they do is follow the NFL. I mean, during this time of year, and Bill Simmons follows the NBA, but certainly Cousin Sal follows the NFL, and I just stunned at just the level of conventional wisdom. Listening to them, listening to Pick Six, the CBS podcast, which is again pretty good. The conventional wisdom on Jacoby Brisset is just breathtaking. I mean, first of all, a quarterback needs a good team around him. I mean, that's to start with. If you don't have a good team around them, you're not going to play very well. Now, nobody's saying that Jacoby Brisset is the second coming of Peyton Manning, but I definitely think he's the second coming of Bill Nelson, who came from the woeful Pittsburgh Steelers of the 60s to the Browns and led them to 3 great years. And Bill Nelson was behind a great offensive line. He had Leroy Kelly, he had Paul Warfield, Gary Collins. I mean, he had like 3 or 4 Hall of Famers on that team. Bill Nelson was a journeyman quarterback who all of a sudden got really good. Same thing with Earl Morrall. And you know who I was thinking about the other day? Again, before your time, was anybody who was a certain age remembers that Brian Sipe game, Red Right 88, the first of many heartaches for the Browns. Well, who was the quarterback for the Oakland Raiders? It was Jim Plunkett, a total retread, a guy who went from number 1 pick in the NFL. Unfortunately, he got thrown into the dysfunctional New England Patriots. He spent the next 3 or 4 years just getting battered and bruised with incompetent coaching, a terrible offensive line, and then he was Al Davis's reclamation project. So all of a sudden, here he is. He's got a great offensive line with 2 Hall of Famers on it. He's got a great running back. He's got a great team. He's got a great coach. His coach was not John Madden, but his predecessor, who was a very, very good coach. memory. But look at, you put Jacoby Brisset like a Jim Plunkett with a great offense, and you're going to see what you saw with against Pittsburgh. Your thoughts?
I think I want to see how this team responds after the Falcons game, where the level of play, starts to get amped up a little bit. The Chargers, the Patriots, the Ravens. So I think that just seeing how the offense works, I have full confidence that they have the ability to score when they have the ball. I think it all kind of comes down to the defense, but I think Jacoby has played outstanding. I think this is the best team he's been on. I think,
and the best coach.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and he did have Bill Belichick in New England. So I think, it might be the second best coach. But you know what? I'm kind of glad that I much prefer the Browns to fly under the radar. I think I'm still scarred from that Freddie Kitchens season where they had so much hype, and then I think you were over my house and the game against the Titans, and it was just, they laid the biggest egg. And then you thought, okay, first game, and then I think they played San Francisco.
No, they played the Jets. I think that was game.
Yeah, they played the Jets. They barely won that game, but they got the W. And then they went to San Francisco and just got annihilated. That's the game where I broke not one, but two remotes. And I was like, So I kind of hope they fly under the radar. I kind of hope that the media out there doesn't think they're very good. I don't think Kevin Stefanski gives a crap about that. He's a one game at a time type of coach, and that's really how you're supposed to be.
Hey, let's stop here. We got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Getting your house ready to sell, or you just need some basic repairs, and you can't get anybody to come out or even return your phone call. Then call Reilly Painting and Contracting, your home mechanics, for all of your home repair needs, from electrical, plumbing, roof repairs, and getting your house ready to sell. 45 years in the business, a AAA on the Better Business Bureau, and we're on the preferred contractor list in Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights. You can contact us by calling 216-371-8160 and leave a message, and guess what? We'll call you back. You know what? One of the things that astounded me about Bill Simmons' podcast the other day, where they were recapping the games, was his take on Carolina. He just couldn't stop talking about Carolina's defense, how tough they were. They're really good. I thought to myself, are you kidding me? Game one, Carolina defense could not stop the Browns. The Browns went up and down the field at will. If Jacoby Brisset had a couple games under his belt, as opposed to just coming in, getting used to, Amari Cooper and just the whole concept of Kevin Stefanski, they would have scored 45 points easily. Yet Bill Simmons is going on and on about Carolina being a surprise team and how good their defense is. Look at the Browns actually played, I think, 3 good defenses. Let's just say I agree with Bill Simmons. Carolina was a good defense. The Jets have a tough defense. Their offense had some question marks. Their O-line had some question marks. And, of course, thanks to Joe Woods, the Jets look good. But their defense was tough. They played the Ravens tough. They gave up a couple of, 1 or 2 big plays, but they kept Lamar in check. I think Pittsburgh Steelers have got a good defense, but they don't have a bad defense.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we've played good defenses. We haven't played great offenses, and that's what kind of scares me, is because they made Flacco look like how he was on the Ravens. He made Mitchell Trubisky look like, a top 10 at his position. And Baker, I think they kept him in check until those, last couple, where they gave up those big, stupid plays. But hey, we'll see if Justin Herbert will be playing. Mac Jones, they're unsure if he's going to be able.
I think they're both going to be
play.
out, personally. So Browns could, things could maybe be breaking the Browns' way. I think the Atlanta game is going to be a good test of both the defense and whether Joe Woods can keep it simple and play to his strength, which is his secondary, and let these guys just play simple coverages. Hopefully he's going to blitz more. Hopefully Myles Garrett, after that car crash, is going to be able to play. And any word on Jadeveon Clowney? I
think the word is he will probably play, but I don't think anything's been confirmed.
Okay. Well, look, the Browns are like the Guardians. They have an offense that is unique in the NFL, where they are a ball control team. They run Hunt, they run Chubb. They've got a great O-line, and they've got possession type receivers. They are unique in the NFL. And that's what just screamed out at me watching all these games. So I predict what the Browns are going to do. They're game 4. Jacoby's understanding this offense. He's understanding the concepts that Stefanski's running, and vice versa. Stefanski is starting to see that we've got an accurate passer who can hit a couple of bombs. And I think, unlike the Carolina game, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Brisset hits a couple of big plays to Peoples-Jones or Njoku up the seam. I can really see that happening. A couple of chunk 30-yard plays. So
this would be a good test for the defense. I think a lot of Browns fans think that the Falcons game is going to be a cakewalk. After the Jets game, after the Panthers come back, I'm assuming that, I don't have a lot of faith that the defense can hold out and close out a game. So one thing, and I was reading about this last night, was, the Falcons have some pretty good young offensive skill guys. So this will be a good test for the secondary, I think. The issue with the Falcons is their quarterback and their defense and their ability to not be able to close out a game. So I don't think this is going to be a cakewalk. I hope this is the type of game where the Browns just smash them, and we'll see. But I think it's in Atlanta, so it's in a dome. So
Atlanta, yeah. Yep. And the Browns, last line I saw, they were up 3.5. So, yeah, I think the Browns, I think they're going to ball control it. They're going to play. Again, I keep getting back to comparing the Browns this year to last year. The big difference is there's no Baker. There's Jacoby. Everything else is basically the same, with an upgrade on receiver with Amari Cooper. But that's the difference. And if you had Jacoby Brisset running the Browns offense last year, they would have been in the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, just removing Baker is addition by subtraction. And I think it's going to bear itself out over the course of the year. I think Carolina Panthers, by week 8, are going to be fed up, with his act. So anyways, yeah. So a quick update, quick podcast. And if we got some time, we'll check in on the pregame on a Friday or Saturday podcast. All right, Brook?
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Cleveland Browns Anonymous podcast with Mike Reilly. We have a lot more content on the way as we get this new podcast started. You can also check out some of our other podcasts, like the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast and other new ones that will start soon. On any platform that you find yourself listening to us on, feel free to leave us a like or comment or follow us. It always helps.